Welcome to the Oklahoma City Elder Care Channel, brought to you by Harmon and Easterday, premier business, estate planning, and elder law attorneys. Today, elder law attorney Blaine Peterson interviews Mr. Joel Herdzina, co-owner of Right at Home, a local home care company. Take it away, Blaine.
Hello, I'm Blaine Peterson. I'm an attorney with Harmon and Easterday Law Firm in Oklahoma City. We're the host of the Elder Care Channel, and we're delighted to have a special guest with us today, Joel Herdzina. He's the owner of Right at Home company here in Oklahoma City. And with that, Joel, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your company.
As you said, Blaine, my name is Joel, and I own Right at Home. We provide caregiving services to the seniors and disabled in the Oklahoma City metro areas. In fact, I'm not the only owner. I will go ahead and admit that. It's my mom, my two aunts, and myself. So the four of us own and run that, and we've been open since 2009.
2009?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a family business, and 2009 you work right alongside family members. That's great.
Right.
Great. Could you describe a little bit about kind of the market area of your company and how
Sure.
they...
Geographically, okay, so we're not an actual residence community. We go into the homes or into the retirement community or wherever it is that the individual might need assistance. And so that allows us to really expand and go outside of just Oklahoma City or Edmond areas. For instance, geographically, we go from Stillwater down to Norman and everything in between, and then as far west as El Reno. So our office is essentially located in the middle of the state for a reason. It's to have easy access to go any which way. Personnel-wise, we service anybody that is 18 years and older. Generally, our typical person that we're caring for is maybe in their 80s. Again, that's typical. But again, there's no limit. As long as they're 18 and older, if they have been diagnosed, maybe they've got a disease such as MS, anything, maybe a paraplegic, that sort of a thing, we're caring for individuals such as that as well. So if that kind of helps geographically and person-wise.
Great. So you service a wide, diverse age group, you said. Could you describe kind of what your typical client and kind of what their situation would consist of?
Sure. Directly, it'll be, like I said, directly the senior citizen that maybe is getting to that point where maybe we're a little unsteady on our feet, maybe we're at risk for falling or missing our medications, that sort of a thing. The typical person that comes to us, though, to seek this help is not them themselves. Usually it's going to be a son or daughter. Mm-hmm. And so, again, typically speaking, it's going to be the 40-year-old to 60-year-old individual that has concern for their parents or their grandparents even. I'm not sure, again, if mom or dad is taking their medications. I'm not sure if they're eating right. I'm not sure if they're safely getting in and out of the bathtub, on and off the toilet, if they've got any groceries in the house. And so the 40 to 60-year-old is our typical person that reaches out to us, mm-hmm. and they ask for our help. And maybe it just be, hey, Joel, I'd like somebody to just touch base once a day, stop in, make sure my parents are okay, they've got the food that they need, they're taking their meds, that sort of a thing. And others, it might be a little bit more severe where it's, I'm worrying about them at night, at risk for falling, getting up to go to the bathroom is a big safety concern, so we might be mm-hmm. there all night. So it's really anything and everything, but that's our typical scenario.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so did I hear you say that frequently you're contacted by family members of the patient in this case who would require the caregiving, mm-hmm. essentially? Great. Can you, without naming names obviously, could you give us maybe an example or two of some of the families or the individuals that your organization has been able to help?
Yeah, I've got one actually that doesn't even fall into that typical category. Well, it kind of sort of does. I'll explain. One of the most heartwarming stories that I've ever been able to be a part of is it's a husband-wife duo that had been married for 67 years. Very recently, we got a call from the son that, again, falls in that 40 to 60 range. But he called and said, look, my mom and dad, they're getting to that point where mom has advanced stages of Alzheimer's, and it's affecting her greatly. But just as much as it affects mom, it is affecting dad. Being married 67 years is a long time, and as everybody knows, Alzheimer's affects people in not maybe the best ways. So very recently, last 2 years, I was told by the son is that his dad is taking care of the wife, and he's been starting to feel guilty. He's saying, you know, my wife is no longer the same person that she was when I married her. She's being combative. You know, he just goes on, and he starts tearing up. And so when I was brought in, the son, the whole idea was, you know what, Dad, you've been married for 67 years. I don't want you to have to worry about making sure she's safe in the bathroom. I don't want you to have to worry about these small little things. And yet he was not realizing what the whole point of that I was there, because he kept saying, well, I can handle these things. I can do these things. And so the son and I together are both saying, we understand that you can do these things. But you shouldn't be doing these things. For your sanity, why don't you let these duties, these day-to-day duties, be done by a professional, just such as our caregivers, and you can go on living your life. It'll give you some freedom to do have some alone time and do your own thing. So after a lot of back and forth, question and answering, and him tearing up quite a bit, he reluctantly said, let's give it a shot. And so we did it a couple times a week. We came in there, helped her with a bath, and helped her make sure she was taking her meds, that sort of a thing, and let him get away for a little bit. And very quickly he was asking, when can Cheryl, our caregiver, come back out there again? Because this has been a godsend. It's been so helpful. So we experienced that a lot, and that's probably one of the more rewarding and heartfelt feelings that I've been a part of, and I'm happy to help.
That's great. That's great. You know, one of the trends we see is the growing number of Americans who are providing services to family members completely uncompensated. And like you noted on, you see the impact it has not just on the patient, if you will, but the benefits to the family members, the spouses, the children, who all otherwise are pitching in to help on a daily basis.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Could you tell us a little bit about kind of what sets you apart in your organization from some of the other companies out there that might be doing something similar?
Sure. Where do I start? Our software, and that's something behind the scenes that a lot of families, you know, don't know about or necessarily care about. They're worried about care for their loved ones, but our software is top notch. It's the best out there, and I know several others are seeking to see if they can get their hands on that. You know, the response time that our company is set up to achieve and respond to families' needs. As you've said earlier, the most likely times that people are contacting is in times of stress and times of, they need help and they need it right away. Maybe the mom, dad went into the hospital and they're being discharged today and we don't have a plan, and that's when we're going to get a call, and we can't wait till tomorrow to get some help, we need it now. And so our response time is one of the best, and I can tell you a little story on that. But one of the biggest differentiating factors is our culture, I would say. The way Right at Home is set up, the way our office is set up, again with my mom, my two aunts, and myself being the four owners of it, it's hard to find. I don't know of any other company that says that they're owned by their mom, two aunts, and themselves. But the overall culture, the way every single one of the people that we hire, we all deeply are concerning and caring individuals, and we treat everybody as such, as if they were family. So that culture aspect of it, I think, above all else, above the software, the response time, I think is the bottom line differentiator.
Great. I'd love to hear more about the response time that you mentioned, because frequently, like you said, these situations occur very rapidly, and there's probably a lot of families out there that aren't prepared for this situation. So how kind of share? You said you had a good story. I'd love to hear the stories you have in that.
Let's see if I can tell it well. Okay, so the lady was in a retirement community that didn't provide any care. It's an independent living. Well, she came home, and I can't quite remember exactly how she got home, but she had a broken ankle or a turned ankle where she couldn't put any weight on it. And she was by herself. She had a meal ordered in for her, and I get a phone call at the office, and it's herself calling in saying that I really need to go to the bathroom, and I don't have any family or anybody nearby, and I can't move, and I don't want to go and soil myself, and so I need to go to the bathroom. And I said, okay, you need help right away, because I know how terrible that feeling is when you need to go to the bathroom and you can't go, whether you're in a car or whatever. So I said, I'll be right over there. So in the meantime, on my way over there, I'm working with my schedulers in my office saying, you need to get a qualified nurse aide out ASAP, and we'll see how soon we can help her go to the bathroom. So I go out there and I visit with her right away. I said, I cannot help you. One, I'm not a nurse aide. I'm not licensed. I don't know how to properly help you. And two, legally I can't help you just because we need some papers signed just allowing my company to help. So I know, again, she has to go to the bathroom, so it's hard to think, and I'm like, trust me, I'm an expert. I'm not going to goof you into or tricking you into doing anything that you don't want to do. Had her sign all the papers. Meanwhile, the nurse aide of mine is on her way over there. And within 30 minutes from the time she picked up the phone to call us, within 30 minutes she was able to safely go to the bathroom with the help of my nurse aide. So I don't promise that we can do that every time within 30 minutes, but that's one example of our response time of how we know time is of the essence, whether it be going to the bathroom or whether, just be safely doing day-to-day duties.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our viewers?
You know what? I guess if you're watching this video, there's a reason behind it. Maybe you know of a loved one or family or friend that might need some education or help, assistance in the home for a loved one. I just say pick up the phone and call my office, ask for me. We can speak directly and let me know that Harmon and Easter Day sent you.
Great, great. Well, we appreciate you coming and visiting with us, Joel. And again, that's Joel Herdzina with Right at Home here in Oklahoma City. And I'm Blaine Peterson with Harmon and Easter Day. If you have any questions regarding estate planning or long-term care, our number is 405-843-6100. And we appreciate you joining us.